The following is my review of El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. While this review should be pretty much spoiler-free of anything that happens within the film itself, I am going off of the assumption that anyone watching this has seen the show Breaking Bad and may refer to some events or people from the show. If you have not yet caught up with the show, then why not check it out first, then come back here? With that out of the way, let's jump in. El Camino, also known as El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, is a 2019 neo-western crime thriller and the epilogue to the critically acclaimed Breaking Bad television series. Picking up just moments from where we last saw him in the series, the film follows Jesse Pinkman now on the run as he tries to come to terms with where life has brought him so far and attempts to pick up the broken pieces in order to create some sort of future. Now, as a fan of the original show, I'll admit that I was a bit worried when I heard there might be some sort of sequel or follow-up in the works. With Breaking Bad ending in a pretty satisfying way, it seemed better to just leave it as is. However, having now watched the movie and seen how well it was handled by the original creator, Vince Gilligan, I just want to say that I really enjoyed this movie and was pleasantly surprised by how much the film has going for it. First of all, I love how it concludes the original series. When a property is brought back, or there's another chapter added to something that seemed to be finished, there's always the worry that it will be ruined. Here though, El Camino not only fits very well into the larger Breaking Bad universe, but really does a great job of tying up the story. Feeling almost like a really long bonus episode or something, the film organically continues where the series left off, and then does a wonderful job going in its own direction to show us Jesse's struggle for redemption and give his character closure. Closure, I'd like to add, that feels satisfying yet, no spoilers, is a realistic enough ending in that it is also bittersweet. While I thought the series had given me everything I wanted, El Camino is the cherry on top that brings everything together. Speaking of which, not only did I like how El Camino brought the story to a close, but I also like how it connected and added to the original series. By this I mean that not only did we fill in some blanks from the past, such as getting to see some further interactions between Jesse and Todd during the time that Jesse was being held captive, but we also get to see where this universe stands now that Heisenberg is gone. While the main focus is, of course, on Jesse and how he is trying to recover from everything he went through over the course of the series, seeing little snippets of what other characters are up to and how the police are dealing with crime was really interesting. Moving on, a personal favorite thing of mine was the way it brings back some of the characters. While I won't say exactly who makes return appearances, or at least outside of Jesse and Todd, I will say that I really love the way they brought them back, and I think that they used them in the story quite well. A couple of appearances in particular were pretty emotional, especially knowing what we know now about these characters' fates and relationships with Jesse. Finally, I think that all of the technical stuff was really impressive, and the man behind it all, Vince Gilligan, is a master of his craft. With great cinematography and music, the whole film comes together beautifully in an interesting way that isn't afraid to hold shots, linger on characters to build tension, or give us some unique points of view. When it comes to that last one, keep an eye out for a part where Jesse gets a gun pointed at his face inside an apartment. The way the camera moves in this scene is great, or at the very least I think so, and I really love little artistic choices like this one. When it comes to any negatives, I guess there are really only two things that I would point out. The first is that some returning characters look kind of off due to the movie being years after the show's ending. While this is of course out of anyone's control, it can be a bit jarring seeing how some characters have aged, gain weight, etc., and yet the film is supposed to be set right after the show's finale. Another thing that I would point out as a potential negative is that this is definitely a movie for fans of the show, and anyone who has not watched the series will most likely be very lost. While some sequels do manage to exist as a standalone anyone can jump into, this isn't really one of those and will require an investment of 62 prior episodes before watching. Sure, it's not really much of a negative to be pointed towards a highly acclaimed series for context, but I still thought that I would point that out. So in conclusion, I think that this is a film that any fan of the show should definitely check out. Managing to be a great epilogue to the original series, while still bringing something new to the story, El Camino absolutely nails stuff like visuals, score, acting, and bringing back characters in a meaningful way. A big thumbs up for me. I definitely recommend this movie. But hey, that's just my opinion. And remember, don't take anything I say too seriously. After all, I'm just the Wannabe Reviewer. Thanks for watching.